What's up, world? It's your girl, Kicking It with Kim, and I'm back again with a podcast banger. Getting straight to it, because that's how I do it, and you have no time to waste. Why? Because you're waiting and waiting and waiting. What are you still waiting for? That's what we're talking about today. Why wait? What's the wait? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I repeat, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Who is the real you? I mean, we know the social media version of you. We know the run-of-the-mill, small talk, hey, how you doing version of you. But does the world really get a full perspective as to who you really are? Are you holding back? Are you hurt? Are you afraid? Questions that we ask ourselves. I'm getting to my handy dandy iPhone. I got some points that I want to hit. So I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock. Couldn't go back to sleep. And I'm like, man, this is going to be a long day. So I decided that since I'm up, I might as well make good use of my time. So a couple of days ago, I was presented an opportunity to apply for a new position, an additional position. So not moving from my current job, but just in addition to. And it's an opportunity that I've been waiting for, I've been practicing for, I've been training for, ultimately going to school for, serving my country for. So it is an opportunity of a lifetime. You'll know more about it as it comes. But right now, just know I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't figure out why until I remembered I did get presented an opportunity to fill out an application for this position. So I kept putting it off because I'm like, I got time. I'll do it later. Maybe this is not the right time, blah, blah, blah. And here I am at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to act like I don't know why I'm up. So what I do, I pull out my device, I pull up the application, and I start filling it out. Now, this is the thing. When I received a phone call a couple days ago about the position, I knew it had my name on it because I'd already been waiting for it. The question that I'm asking is, why are you waiting? Are you waiting because you have expectancy? Are you waiting as in serving? Or are you waiting as in, well, because there's a difference in waiting. So I decided when I got that phone call, it had my name on it. So why didn't I do that application right then and there? Why didn't I submit it just to ensure that it got, through, sooner than later? It had my name on it. I know that was an opportunity for me. So it was interesting that I, ended up, doing a little self-check and saying, get it together, wake up, because this is your opportunity. You've been waiting for this. It has your name on it. So what are you waiting for? So that's one aspect of it. And then another aspect is folks are waiting on the real you to show up. Because in reality, we have these superficial versions of ourselves and we have these ideal versions of ourselves. We have these creative versions of ourselves. We have these aesthetics that make us more appealing or more interesting or more physically attractive. But what are we doing for the inside? What are we doing for the mental? What are we doing within our soul? You have to know what's inside of you in order to know the real you. Because it's what's in you, not what's on you. When you put on a persona, when you put on a mask, when you put on clothes, you got to take them off at some point. So what do you suggest you're doing when you say you're doing this and that and the third on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, and you're projecting and you're portraying a certain life, but is that the real you? And if it is, kudos. Live your best life. But if you're just pretending or you're just mimicking or you're just going along with the algorithm, are you really presenting the world the real you? So then I'm saying, at that cost, if you're not presenting the real you, who is somewhere suffering? And is it a question that maybe I personally am suffering because I'm refusing my real self? One, the open freedom to move about, but also to be an opportunity for someone else, to be a vessel for someone else. All right. So I had this visual because y'all know I try to stick to visuals and I try to connect everything to what I see and what I've experienced. And so when I thought about waiting and I thought about why wait and I thought about, you know, the components of waiting. I also thought about those that are waiting because they're not sure how they're going to get to the other side. So I'm a nature person. I love the outdoor, and one of the activities that I love to get into is hiking. And so I've been on various trails, various, terrain, manage a lot of different woodlands, waters, etc. So what I've learned throughout each, hiking experience is that there's somewhere, somehow, in the midst of chaos and woodland and trails that, sometimes present challenge, and you're at steep hills and rocks are underneath and it's just a lot. And somewhere in the midst of that, there's a bridge. And I always find it so interesting because normally it's at the point where I've hiked and I moved and I'm, got my momentum going. And then I'm like, boom, I'm at this point where, I didn't already been through all of that. And now I got to look forward to see that there's a whole entire other side. And the only way out of hiking is to go through it. You can't, you can turn around and go back where you came from. But it's probably not going to lead you to the exit. It's probably going to lead you back to where you entered. And you want to be able to exit because you're going through, right? That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. So I'm seeing these bridges and it seems like it's in the midst of nowhere. But then I realized someone else has charted this terrain before. Someone else had to go through these valleys and hills and rocks and all these other things that come along with the hike. And they decided it's time to build a bridge here. But also have to realize that they had to make a decision that I could make this easier for someone else as I come back to this location. That means you have to go back to the entry where you came to note that there needs to be a bridge built. Because in order for you to get to the other side, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. But you saw an opportunity to say, maybe if there was a bridge, we could walk safely over that bridge and get to that other side versus trying to swim 20 miles over, whatever feet of water, or trying to get over whatever landmass, whatever may be hindering. And then it might be that you can go other routes. But the reality is a bridge can get you over sooner. And it takes someone having to go through something and have to get to the point where they actually know that they need something there in order for it to be an opportunity also to bless other people. In another video, Getting Unstuck, make sure y'all go and watch it. I'll leave it down below so y'all can go and peep that video. The last point was to go back and get somebody else after you've been helped, after you've been good. You can't just rely on, I'm doing this for me. Yeah, ultimately, but in reality, it's the greater good of you because it's the God in you that services all that is encompassing things of God. So I'm just trying to say someone had to go through something in order for them to realize that there needed to be a bridge. So first of all, acknowledge that. Second of all, maybe you're a type of person where you're getting through the hike and you see the bridge and you're getting over the bridge and you're realizing more and more, where am I going? It don't even seem like there seems to be a trail at that point. You got over the bridge, you saw that somebody else, up until a point, got you over the bridge, and now you're saying, what do I do? And you're in another predicament where you must wait. Did it ever occur that you're supposed to be building the bridge there? Like maybe I'm supposed to build a bridge here, meaning I'm supposed to learn at this level here, meaning I'm supposed to master this particular season here in order for it to be a bridge that I'm building so that it can then be another bridge for someone else. But even if it's not, at least you're focused on becoming a better you. You're not obligated to do anything for an individual, and that's right. But I promise you, if you think about the times you've done something for other people more than you've tried to seek the advantage for yourself, you've probably done that more. I'll tell you how. I know how. There was one of my favorite podcasters. She attended a seminar and she was saying how during the seminar, They were talking about basically self-care, affirmation, serving community leadership, etc. So those were some of the components. As she was there, she said that she had to do this activity in which the instructor said, I want you to pull out a piece of paper and I want you to write a prayer for someone that you've been having in mind, whether it be family, coworker, friend, church member, etc., schoolmate, whatever. Write a prayer. Write all the blessings that you want for this person. Write, future goals for this person, whatever you see that you want, to be in agreement with this person on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody in the class wrote all these letters, and it was just a beautiful moment that everybody had everybody else in mind. So it was really beautiful. Now, the instructor tells them, take your letter and put I or me, whatever, personal pronoun is appropriate, and pray that same prayer for yourself. What the instructor was trying to get at is we are always considering others and praying for others more so than we do for ourselves. But how about we take all that we want for other people and we apply it to ourselves so that we become full, and then we have the overfilling that's enough for everybody else. Oftentimes you're empty because you give what you don't have, and then you're depleted, and then you're expected to still go to work, still be a mom, still go to church, still be, faithful to your spouse. How do you balance all of that if you don't have it to begin with? So it starts with learning where you are, learning why you are where you are, and then you have to decide at that point, what am I going to do with this? Because if you're always seeking to give the advantage to other people, maybe giving it to yourself and mastering it yourself will allow you a gateway to build a bridge right there. So, hey, I'm telling y'all, we're trying to get over getting unstuck. Stuff that's going to really move us forward in life. Keep it moving. KIM. Keep it moving, people. So, there's another thing that comes to mind when I think about, waiting and being in a wait, and where it seems impossible because of the terrain, or it seems impossible because of the distractions. It seems impossible because of the hurt. You may have sustained some injury along your way. Then that's when we get to a point where there's something that is not you that's going to make a way out of no way. So we saw it with Moses when he was leading the people out of the barren land, and he was taking them on into the promised land. And there came up a sea, and the enemy was rushing behind Moses and the people of God, and they had to make a decision. We gonna get swallowed up by this water, or we gonna get, killed by the enemy. So they decided that regardless of how they were going to try to move, it was going to ultimately mean death. So even when you find yourself in a situation where it's not your fault, you didn't do nothing, the enemy on your trail, you got waters ahead of you, and you didn't necessarily decide to be there, but God is telling you that you're moving forward. God is telling you that you're good. God is telling you that you're great. God is telling you to keep going. You're like, how? That's exactly the point that God wants you to be. Because once you realize that there's no way that I can come up with in my own fleshly, carnal self, but if I give way to God in me, He'll make the way, because He is the way, the truth, and the light. So then what God does, what does God do with Moses and the people? He pushes them through by opening up the water, just so they can walk right in. How many times have you found yourself not qualified, or maybe you didn't study enough, or maybe you kind of been, trying to work on it, but it's just not right, solidified. But then that moment it comes time and you did better than you thought. You were nervous. You didn't know how you was going to deal with that conflict. You're tired of repeating yourself. You said it this way, that way, and the other way, and backwards, and you still can't communicate, with someone in a positive manner. What do you do at that point? Well, I like to sit back and watch what God do. There's a man of God that says, try Jesus, not me. Because, yeah, it's a joke, but in reality, what does God have to weigh in on the situation? How does He say? Because sometimes we're not even looking and seeking and listening because we're so focused on what we didn't do right, why we didn't make the mark, who had something to do with why we slowed down. But in reality, God is saying, I don't want you to deal with none of that. I've already decided that I'm going to make a way. I just need you to get there and be ready. Be sure that you understand why you're at the wait. And then lastly, wait while you wait. Serve, WAIT. Still the same word, still the same spelling, but totally different connotation. Like I say, you can sit here and just wait. You can be anticipating it's coming, it's working out for your girl, it's going to happen. Or you can go and serve. Build those bridges, build yourself, be in the community, thriving, go to your job with a smile on your face, approach that situation of conflict with the, you know what, I ain't even gonna worry about it today. You go ahead and do you. Wait while you wait. Service. Look for the opportunity. I knew when I received the phone call already what it could have entailed, even that I didn't have the full, version of the conversation. Why? Because I've already decided that I need people calling me from the left and right to get what I got. Withhold nothing. Once you got over that bridge, once you've built that bridge to get over, once you realize that it's up to me to be the first or the second or the third or whatever you come in that ranking to get over something, you got to decide that that's a notch on your belt. That's a trophy. That's an experience that you have mastered. So now you need to put it in your bag. We're all out here talking about go get a bag and what's in your bag and put it in. No, man, get everything that you have gotten out of life. Put it in your bag because it will be used for your glory. It will be used for the glory of God. Get everything that God has given you, all the experiences, all the good, all the bad. Put it in your bag because it's going to be used for later use. It ain't for nothing that you went through what you went through. So I'm asking y'all today, what's in your bag? Yeah, you can have some disappointment. Yeah, you can have some upset. Yeah, you can have some, but you also got some resiliency. That's what's in my bag. I got it tatted because I'm serious about this. Grace, that's what's in my bag. Got that tatted too. What's in your bag? If you're not using the things that life has presented to you for the good, because the Bible says all things work together for the good of those that love God, called according to his. It's this movement right here. From here to you. From God to you. From God to you. So if he's literally orchestrating and through you and in you and out of you now, so now you don't have to worry about all that stuff that you've been worrying about because God is not the warrior. He's the warrior. He's the one that conquers all. I'm wrapping this thing up. It's all done pretty much already. Y'all got the point a long time ago. I'm just staying for the overflow. All right. Wait while you wait. Look for the advantage. Serve somebody. Who are you? What are you? And what are you going to do with it? Stay tuned for more because I'm going to come back and chew on some more nuggets and figure out some more content and learn some more ways to connect with you guys because I know you're asking questions. I know you're trying to figure it out. So let's do it together. Drop some questions down below. If you had questions about this video, if you had any personal experience with anything that I've talked about, shoot, if you know some good hiking spots, tell me that too. But y'all stay on this ride with me like I always say. We're going to go on over there to the other side because guess what? It ain't turf over there. It's real grass because we're watering it. We are actually planting seed in it. We're actually getting sunshine from it. Growth.